the son of the doctor from Idaho, who preferred cars to sports for recreation. Karl DeKlotz didn't have a typical upbringing of a football player, but he loved the game and went all out to turn himself into a defensive standout on one of the top teams in Bullard's history. DeKlotz started playing in Bullard Pop Warner in 5th grade, riding his bike across town to sign up. At first, the sign-up table wasn't set up, so he kept coming back until it was. Originally a difficult-to-block nose guard, DeKlotz eventually made the switch to linebacker at Bullard. In that era, it was difficult for a junior to earn a starting role. Seniors were given the first shot at each position. As a junior, DeKlotz was the de facto captain of the scout defense in practice, making sure the offense knew what was coming from the opponent on Friday. Going into his senior season, DeKlotz was tasked by the coaches to compete for a spot at inside linebacker, a position already occupied by Don Arax. With the team having a hole at strong side outside linebacker, the coaches moved DeKlotz outside. His speed, roughly a 4.7 40-yard dash, allowed him to chase down anyone who tried to break into the wide side of the field. DeKlotz often provided levity to the situation, whether he attempted to or not. In a game at Madera his senior year, 1981, DeKlotz suffered an early concussion. He remained in the game and throughout the first half was continually asking teammates, "Are we winning?" with the scoreboard in plain view. At halftime, Coach Jerry Justice pulled him and another player into a remote corner of the locker room. Justice was pounding on lockers, trying to convince them they were fine and they had to get back into the game. To the rest of the team, it sounded like they were being tossed into metal lockers by the coach. In the second half of the game, which Bullard won 39-7, DeKlotz came up with an interception on the sidelines and went out of bounds, but kept running with the ball, thinking he was headed for the end zone inbounds. At another point, Justice responded with his cure-all method of handling those injuries to make sure he didn't hear about them in the future. Red-hot ointment, which is one of the most miserable experiences I've ever had, says DeKlotz. I learned to never tell the coach I was hurt again. When DeKlotz pulled the wrapping off his back after practice, his entire back was blistered. After his senior season, DeKlotz was named All-NYL and Fresno Bee All-Metro. DeKlotz has continued to live in the Bullard area and remained involved in the program throughout the years, even serving as public address announcer for home games for many years, including the 2009 Valley Championship season. He was known to bestow nicknames on various players, such as Devin Mack, the Mack Truck, Caleb the Judge, Justice, and Daniel the Hitman Snelling. He's very appreciative of the coaches he had throughout his career, who helped take soft Northwest Fresno kids and make them animals to compete against bigger schools, including Bob Amendola, Joe DeFilippo, and Mark Arax in Pop Warner. Former Pac-10 football players Gary Kikorian and Dr. Thaxter in midgets, Steve Smith's father in bantams, Keith Herzog in JV, and Justice, Danny Robinson, and Mike Noakes on varsity. DeKlotz played 2 years at Fresno City College after graduating, then finished his degree at Fresno State. He is currently in real estate property management and has been an adjunct instructor in the business division at Fresno City for the last 20 years. He is married to Alina and has 2 kids, son Axel and daughter Sasha. The Bullard Knights Hall of Fame proudly welcomes Karl DeKlotz.